Porsche is one of the most famous car manufacturers in the world. Porsche is a German company and its headquarters are in Zuffenhausen, a district in the city of Stuttgart. Ferdinand Porsche started the company in 1931. But surprisingly, the first car the company designed wasn't a Porsche. It was another famous car, the Volkswagen Beetle. The offices were here in central Stuttgart. They designed the first Beetle here in the 1930s. In the 1940s, Volkswagen became a separate company. Porsche then began to manufacture cars in the Porsche name. It produced the Porsche 64 and the Porsche 356. The 356 was very successful, and the company produced over 75,000 of them. But their next car was even more popular. Porsche made the first 911 in 1963. The 911 quickly became the company's most famous model, and Porsche has sold almost 1 million of them. Today, it is one of the oldest sports cars still in production, and continues to influence Porsche's newer ranges, such as the Porsche Cayman. Porsche has made almost all of its 911s here, in its Stuttgart factory. Today, this factory produces around 40 Porsche Boxsters and over 100 911s every day. For over 80 years, the company has made luxury cars, competing against other world-famous car brands such as Ferrari and Mercedes. Porsche employs over 15,000 people and sells cars all over the world. In 2012, it had annual sales of 130,000 vehicles. As well as its cars, Porsche is also famous for its branding. Its logo is one of the most recognizable brand logos in the world. People can buy Porsche branded clothes, luggage, and, of course, model cars. Whatever it sells, a classic 911, a new Boxster, or just a simple mug, the Porsche brand always means quality and style. It's the 30th of April 2013, and almost everybody in Amsterdam is celebrating Queen's Day. And this year, Queen's Day is particularly special. Queen's Day, or King's Day, is a national Dutch holiday, and it happens every year. People celebrate all over the Netherlands, but Amsterdam holds the largest celebrations. People come from all over the country, and the population can increase from 750,000 to 3 million people for the day. They wear orange clothes, play music, and have fun. There are huge parties on the streets, in the parks, and even on Amsterdam's famous canals. People play games and make traditional Dutch food, like poffertjes, a small pancake served with sugar and butter. It's a great day for kids too. Today, children all over Amsterdam are dressing up, playing games, and enjoying themselves. Some are playing music, some are dancing, and some children are even zorbing. The day is also famous because of its nationwide market. On this day, every year, people can sell anything they want, anywhere. In Amsterdam, people set up stalls all over the city and sell all their old books and clothes. Children also have their own market stalls. This boy is painting and selling people's portraits. Every year, Queen's Day gives people a chance to relax and enjoy being Dutch. But this Queen's Day is different. Today, Queen Beatrix is abdicating, which means she will stop being queen. Thousands of people are attending the ceremony, and many more are watching it on big screens all over the city. It's a very important day for the country. It's the day that Beatrix's son, Wilhelm Alexander, becomes king. Without a queen, there's no Queen's Day. But the celebrations won't change at all. Next year, people all over the Netherlands will celebrate King's Day. This is Rio de Janeiro, one of the most exciting cities in the world. Over 11 million people live in Rio. It's a mix of many different cultures, so there's always a great atmosphere, and there are lots of different things to see and do. You can see wonderful artworks, like the Escadaria Salaron, and take part in traditional Brazilian activities, like capoeira. The city itself is a wonderful combination of the old and the new. This is Avenida Rio Branco. Old-fashioned buildings sit alongside new skyscrapers, and the street runs right through the centre of the city. Outside the city, there are several old neighbourhoods, like Santa Teresa. Settlers built this area in the 1750s, and today it is famous for its narrow streets and tall, white viaducts. Of course, one thing Brazil is especially famous for is football. Brazilians play football on the street, on the beach, and, of course, in the city's football stadiums. If you like football, you need to visit the Maracanã Stadium. It opened in 1950. At the time, it was the largest stadium in the world and hosted the 1950 World Cup final. Almost 200,000 people came to the final between Brazil and Uruguay. But, sadly, Brazil lost. Brazilians will hope that they can win the World Cup final when it returns to the Maracanã Stadium in 2014. Rio is a huge city. The only way to see all of it is to climb to the top of one of the mountains that surround the city. Sugarloaf Mountain is in Guanabara Bay and is 396 meters high. Visitors can climb the mountain, but the most relaxing way to the top is by cable car. The cable cars run along a 1,400-metre route between the mountain's peaks. These cable cars can hold 65 passengers, and they leave every 20 minutes. At the top, there are amazing views of the ocean, the beach, and this fascinating city. BP, or British Petroleum, is one of the most recognisable brands on the planet. The name BP was first used in the early 20th century. This is an early advertisement, but this flag logo was soon replaced by the company's world-famous green and yellow shield logo. This logo lasted for 80 years. Then, in 2000, BP designed a new symbol. It was called the Helios, and it represented a clean, green, eco-friendly company. At least, it was supposed to. Unfortunately for BP, the brand became associated with a terrible environmental disaster. On Tuesday, the 20th of April 2010, 11 men were killed in an explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. The explosion occurred on the offshore oil rig Deepwater Horizon. The explosion caused huge amounts of oil to spill into the ocean, causing pollution and killing a lot of the area's sea life. 2 months after the disaster, it was estimated that up to 40,000 barrels of oil were still spilling into the ocean every day. Beaches which were usually busy became empty and deserted. And the tourism and fishing industries were badly affected. The accident damaged BP's brand, and the eco-friendly image represented by the Helios logo needed to be rebuilt. BP has had to work hard to rebuild its reputation. It spent $14 billion on cleaning up the coastline and funded a series of adverts promoting tourism in the Gulf Coast states. BP's image was badly damaged by the Deepwater Horizon disaster. But BP still has a strong brand. And if the company wants its Helios logo to represent a green and eco-friendly image, it will have to continue to work hard to rebuild its reputation. The Atacama Desert is located in northern Chile. It is the driest desert in the world. Most of the time, there isn't any rain here. In fact, some parts of the Atacama Desert have never had any rain. But is there any life here? Surprisingly, in an area that receives almost no rain, there is some water. There are a few lagoons and some rivers, such as the San Pedro. Where there is water, there is life. and the desert is home to some plants, animals, and people. In fact, people lived here thousands of years ago in forts, or pucaras, such as this one. But today, they live in towns and villages, such as San Pedro de Atacama. San Pedro is over 550 years old. About 5,000 people live here, and it's very popular with tourists. There are a few sights in the town. There's the Archaeological Museum and the Church of San Pedro. But most people come to explore the amazing landscape outside the town. They visit El Tatio, a huge geyser field, Licancambur, a volcano near the town, and the Valle de la Luna, or Valley of the Moon, a strange but beautiful place that looks like another planet. Some tourists also travel to a small village 24 miles south of San Pedro called Tocanao. This beautiful village lies in an oasis in the middle of the desert. And it is famous for its church tower, made from volcanic stone. There are lots of natural resources in the Atacama Desert, so there are many copper mines. And it was in a copper mine in the Atacama Desert that 33 Chilean miners became trapped in 2010. The miners were eventually rescued after spending 52 days underground, and the story made news headlines around the world. The Atacama Desert is also well known for the Llano de Chinanto Observatory. It is home to ALMA, the largest and most expensive telescope project in the world. There are 66 large antennas, and the project cost over $1 billion. It is an international partnership between Europe, East Asia, the United States, Canada, and Chile. The Atacama Desert is a hot, dry, and sometimes dangerous place. But all of these towns, villages, mines, and observatories show that even in very difficult conditions, people and industry can survive. Zurich is the largest city in Switzerland, with a population of around 370,000 people. It is often listed as one of the best cities to live in the world. But why? Well, Zurich is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. A lot of the biggest banks have offices here. And the Swiss Stock Exchange, based in Zurich, is one of the most important stock exchanges in Europe. Zurich is home to Switzerland's biggest businesses and most powerful media organisations. Two of Europe's top universities, the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology and the University of Zurich, are also based here. Employment is high, and wages are high. The only disadvantage is that prices are high too. But there's more to Zurich than just money. There are lots of other reasons why it's a great place to live. Firstly, it's beautiful. And it is surrounded by beautiful scenery. The buildings aren't as tall as they are in cities like London and Paris, and they are very traditional. These are Zurich's famous guild houses. They are very old and typically Swiss. Zurich is smaller than a lot of other major European cities, but it has a very strong cultural tradition. The Zurich Museum of Art has got one of the largest collections of modern art in the world. The Zurich Opera House, which is over 180 years old, is one of the most famous opera houses in Europe. And the main theatre, the Schauspielhaus Zurich, is one of the most important theatres in the German-speaking world. The city has also got a fantastic transport system. And public transport is by far the most popular way to travel. There are local trains, trams, and buses, and the public transport network also includes boats on the lake and river, special cliff railways, and cable cars. Zurich is also famous for its parks. There's the Zoological Garden, with 260 different species of animal, the Old Botanical Garden, with 15,000 species of plants and trees, and the Chinese Garden, which is one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city. Zurich is a rich city, and a lot of money is invested into transport, architecture, and culture. And this, together with its beautiful location, is what makes Zurich one of the best places to live in the world. Tiger Mendoza is a band based in Oxford, in England. There are 3 members. Ian produces, plays guitar, and sings. Dan plays guitar, and Helena is the lead singer. We asked them some questions about the band and their music. When did you start the band?
We started the band in 2008, and I joined a year later at the end of 2009.
Why did you start the band?
That's a really good question. We started the band for fun, really. Ian and I were at a New Year's Eve party and everyone was playing guitar and singing together. Afterwards, he came up to me and asked if I wanted to record some music with him, and that's how it started.
What kind of music do you play?
We play a mixture of electronic and rock music. I produce beats and backing tracks on my laptop. Dan plays loud rock guitar and Helena sings as loudly as she can over the top.
How many live gigs have you played?
We've played about 10 to 15 live concerts, and we mainly play in local clubs and pubs around the city. We, on average, play about 1 gig every 2 to 3 months.
What was the best gig that you have played?
I suppose our favourite concert was when we supported DJ Shadow at the O2 Academy in Oxford. We played in front of 1,000 people, and it was an amazing feeling to be on stage playing in front of that many people, and it's something that we've always really enjoyed talking about as a band. Also, my favourite gig that we've ever played was at an art gallery in Oxford, and it's for a charity gig for a charity called Oxfam, and that was a really amazing gig that we played at as well.
Have you made any albums?
Yes, we've made 2 albums together as a group, one called Homesick in 2009, and in 2010 we did Aim for the Head. Then Ian and Dan together did an album called Libre in 2011.
Have you made any videos?
We haven't actually done any pop videos, although a friend of ours has created some live visuals for our live shows, and a dance troupe in America did choreograph a dance routine to one of the tracks we put on the internet.
How do you promote your music?
We use social media as much as we can to promote our music because it's very important these days. We have a Facebook page, and there is also a website called SoundCloud which has a lot of our music on it. I like technology a lot, so I created a website for the band. We also promote a lot, or as much as we can, through a local music magazine called Night Shift.
How many people listen to your music online?
The amount of people who listen to our music online varies from month to month. The most we've had is around 27,000, but on average our tracks have been listened to between 200 and 300 times.
Have you been successful?
It depends what you mean by successful. So there are costs that you have to pay for renting studio space and travelling to gigs, and so by the time you've taken those costs into consideration, there's not much money left. But we do it for love, not money.
So, what is the future for Tiger Mendoza?
We plan to record another album, and at the moment we're practicing and recording new songs. We hope to go from strength to strength and carry on what we really enjoy, and that's playing in the band together.
Moving home can be very stressful, but relocating abroad can be even worse. You need to know as much as you can about your new life. You need to find out about accommodation, the local culture, schools, and many other things. But how do you get this information? LookSeeCity.com is a website for people moving to a new country that lets you see what life will be like in your new home. John Devitt is the founder of the website.
The website concentrates on cities around the world, and the main features are the crucial aspects of life for somebody going to live in the city. That's to say schools, neighbourhoods, what expats who already live in the city think about the city, also every other aspect of life, from cultural to entertainment to keeping fit. Just the basic and practical aspects of living in a city, which when you live there you take for granted, but when you don't live there are incredibly important.
With Look See City, you don't have to visit your new home to experience its culture and customs. You can do it from your sofa. So how does Look See City help people learn about local culture?
Well, because it's video-based, you can get a very good idea about how different cultures interact and how you should behave in that culture. So, for example, we show how people should dress, and there are many different standards and many different rules, but you get a good idea from the videos about how you should dress to fit in with the local culture, how you should, for example, greet people in a local culture. Should you be in somebody's space, or should you be slightly further back? Should you be shaking hands? Should you be kissing someone?
For most people, one of the most important things about moving country is the accommodation. Most property websites allow you to see photos of a house or apartment, But this may not give a true picture of what it is really like. Look-See City allows you to take a virtual tour of your new home.
The difference, the way we show people accommodation is to use video, of course. When you look for accommodation in a city online, you can look at images and you can read text, for example. But a very useful way of seeing how the accommodation is likely to be is to view the person who actually lives there walking around their apartment and showing you all sorts of different aspects of the way they have arranged their apartment, the problems they've had, the difficulties they've had in getting the apartment, and what it looks like on the inside.
And, of course, for people travelling with their families, finding a good school is very important. How does Look-See City help parents to choose a school?
So what we try to do is to show the schools from a parent's perspective. We do the tours as a parent would do a tour with an admissions officer. So the person in charge of admissions will show you around and will go into classrooms and will show you how the school works in every aspect. And because they are filmed with just a radio microphone on here, they're very relaxed, and it becomes like a tour that you would do as a parent. We also have interviews then with the head teacher, with parents and with students. And the aim is to allow the school to show itself off to the best of its ability.
There are lots of things to think about when moving to a new country. Look-See City offers people a chance to research and experience a new city, giving them everything they need to know before choosing to relocate. Zipcar is the world's most popular car-sharing network. The company has 777,000 members and operates in several different countries. In 2013, the Avis Budget Group bought it for $500 million. But how did it all start? In 2000, two entrepreneurs decided to bring car sharing to America. They opened their first office in Boston. The company grew very quickly, and soon they were opening offices across America. By 2005, they had offices in Washington, New York, and San Francisco. And by 2006, they were expanding internationally. So, how does it work? Customers sign up to Zipcar online. They can then reserve a self-service car on the internet, by phone, or with a smartphone app. Once they have reserved a car, they can use their access card to open the vehicle. They collect the keys from inside the car. The whole process is very fast, and customers can even reserve a car minutes before they want to start driving. They pay a monthly or yearly subscription, and they can rent the vehicle by the hour or by the day. The price includes petrol and insurance. Lots of different people use Zipcars. They are popular with businesses, families, and students. People use them for work, shopping, or general transport. So Zipcar has a wide range of cars. They have over 11,000 vehicles and offer more than 30 different makes and models, including Audi, BMW, and Mini Cooper. They've got small cars, family cars, utility vehicles, and eco-friendly cars. Zipcar is quick, easy, and is aimed at all types of car user. It has grown from a small startup company with one office in 2000 to a hugely successful international business today. There are now Zipcar offices in the USA, Canada, the UK, Spain, and Austria. And more countries are expected to follow. This success isn't surprising. After all, Zipcar offers consumers a cheap and convenient alternative to buying or renting a car. Online shopping is becoming more and more popular. It now accounts for 10% of all consumer spending, and in the last year, internet sales have increased by more than 8%. If this trend continues, internet shopping will eventually become the most popular way to buy products, and many shops will disappear. But not all shops are losing their customers to online retailers. If stores offer customers something they can't find online, then people will continue to shop there. Markets and grocery stores, for example, give people the chance to feel and smell the food they buy. If people buy clothes in a clothes shop, they can try on the items they want to purchase. But what about bookshops? What can they do to encourage people to shop there? This is Selectie's bookstore in Maastricht in the Netherlands. Selectie's has got 15 branches in 15 Dutch cities. But this one is special. This structure dates back to the 13th century, and for about 500 years it was a Dominican church. The church was taken by Napoleon's army in 1794, and it hasn't been a church since then. It was a warehouse, an archive, and a bicycle storage centre before Selectie's bought it and decided to sell books here. Today, it's one of the most beautiful bookstores in the world. It offers consumers a relaxing atmosphere in an amazing building. It's got beautiful stained glass windows, ancient pillars, and high ceilings. The Guardian newspaper voted it the best bookstore in the world, and it has won prizes for its interior design. Customers love browsing the bookshelves and looking at its beautiful painted ceiling. They also enjoy spending time in the shop's cafe. But the store has also got everything you would expect to find in a bookstore. It sells fiction and non-fiction books, and it's got books for all ages in several different languages. It also sells dictionaries, newspapers, postcards, and DVDs. But of course, this isn't just a normal bookstore. People from all over the world come here for the books and the incredible architecture. Selectie's Maastricht proves that if a shop is interesting, people will always want to shop there. And the Selectie's bookstore experience is one that online shopping cannot match.